ipaalala natin sa ating mga tagapakinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon ang importansya sa pagiging mapanuri. Kasama natin ngayong gabi at hindi na ito bago, no, sa vloggers ng Bagong Pilipinas. Walang iba kundi si Doc Ligot.
Alright, Doc Ligot, magandang gabi sa'yo. Para lang sa mga hindi nakakaalam, sa mga hindi dati nakapanood ng episode natin nung naging guest namin siya before, si Doc Ligot ay isang award-winning data scientist at founder ng Zerolytics na kinikilala sa mga international competitions tulad ng NASA lang naman, Space Apps Challenge. Isa rin siyang co-founder ng Data Ethics Philippines at aktibong nagtuturo ng data literacy at responsible AI. Bukod sa pagiging technologist, nagsisilbi rin siya bilang consultant sa gobyerno at board member ng Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism or PCIJ. So, magandang gabi sa iyo, Doc. Welcome back sa Vloggers ng Bagong Pilipinas.
Salamat ulit that you brought me back, no? And happy to be back.
Napapanahon. Actually, when I was looking at, I was browsing sa social media, nakita ko kagad yung unang-una ko nakita yung post si Doc Ligot. Tapos sabi ko naisip ko, kasi kaya natin ulit si Doc Ligot. And then all of a sudden, isa sa EP natin, naisip din yun. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So anyway, Doc, ito gusto ko malaman since napanood natin yung clip ni Attorney Claire Castro regarding dun sa ni-repost na ni Senator Bato na isang AI video with a comment regarding the impeachment ni VP Sara, right? Na obviously AI, and he was called out for that. So, ito, kasi ako naramdaman ko yung gigil ni Attorney Claire doon sa pagsagot kanina eh. So, ngayon, Doc, ano pong initial reaction nyo dun sa video na pinost ni Senator Bato de la Rosa at Mayor Baste Duterte? Sa tingin nyo po ba ang objective nito at effective ba yan para sa inyo?
Well, yung reaction ko actually, may mga, although I noticed, I think it's almost universal condemnation. Lahat ng netizens nagalit. No? But then occasionally, may nakikita ko mga comment na kesyo daw partisan yung pag-react ko. Na, pag yung admin, walang okay lang, pero pag political opponent, suddenly you're very critical. Actually, I'm not reacting to the partisanship of the issue. Kasi kung susundan natin yung chain of events, noong una niyang shinare yung video, parang ang sinasabi niya, mabuti pa yung mga kabataan. No? Right. They have a view on this impeachment. Kasi parang ang dating interview siya on the street eh.
Yes,
man on
parang,
the street. Well, clearly it was not real people, di ba? Alam naman natin. And then later, nung pinoint out na, kumambyo na kahit hindi AI yan, importante yung message. So, for me, yun yung subtle parang switch that made me react. Na either you thought it was real, tapos ngayon okay lang na hindi pala siya real. Those are two different things. Mas madali siguro, in my view, to say, akala ko totoo. Pero ito yung view ko about impeachment. Then, nobody would have actually, may magre-react, pero it wouldn't be as bad as it was. No? And that's why I had to come in and basically say, kung kahit sino-sino lang siguro, maybe pwedeng palampasin. But if you're in a position of power, correct, you're in a position of influence, maraming maniniwala sa'yo just because you're in the position.
Correct. That's right.
And so it's incumbent on anyone. Doesn't matter whether you're on one side or the other. Hindi siya issue of political partisanship eh. It's an issue of totoo ba yung media na, okay naman. For me, I use AI a lot. Pero I will disclose, this is an AI-generated video. Correct. Never kung sasabihin na ito totoo to, pero actually AI-generated. I think that's the slippery slope eh. The moment palagpasin natin yung mga ganyan, then wala na, no? Yan ang challenge natin.
I also, in reaction to that, I also find it lazy. It's lazy for me. I mean, to create this an AI video to see the reaction of whatever it is, to get an opinion of somebody. I mean, talamak na talamak, you have content creators on your end, and you could have done an actual Kalye survey with real people, and then get their opinion about the impeachment if that's what you really want. So for me, it's so lazy na mag-create ka na lang ng AI video na ganun when you can just get on the street and ask them. Ask the people.
And I'm sure you'll find people on both sides. You can cherry pick if you want. Pero yung sinasabi mong lazy, actually may dalawang sides yan eh. Lazy siya because obviously it's easier to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think yun din yung isa pang dapat paghandaan natin, even as citizens, yung ability na to generate, tawag dyan, synthetic media or deepfakes. Super dali. And that means yung ability mo to produce na sana hindi fake news is so easy, especially if you're in a politically charged environment, lalo na ngayon, no? Kakatapos lang na election, there's an impeachment going on. I think we have to warn everyone na dapat mag-ingat tayo na yung nakikita mo na anywhere on TV or in social media, you have to be skeptical agad. Hindi katulad dati, basta may video, totoo yan. Nahuli ng CCTV camera yan. Totoo. Ngayon, you could probably fake a CCTV footage. That's the bigger implication. You can now fake images, CCTV footage. Paano kung kailangan mo yung footage na yon, let's say in court, to prove or debunk a crime? Hindi mo na magagamit ang video kasi someone can always say, nako, na AI mo yan. Ano?
Inadmissible na.
Paano ang problema dyan, and I have to warn everyone about this, yung mga AI detectors, hindi siya reliable. Diba? Naalala nyo yung controversy dun sa Pulveron video?
Yeah.
Ang haba ng debate na yun. No? Eventually, it was debunked. Pero it was he said, she said up until the very end.
Yeah.
So ngayon, buti na lang yung mismong video na na-share. Obviously naman, talagang...
It was very poor quality.
Tsaka pag tititigan mo yung mga detalye, yung mga tricycle, hindi naman talaga from the Philippines. I think it was parang generated footage of Bangkok. Parang ganyan. Medyo Thailand ang dating. Nagkataon lang na yung features nung alleged interviewee na fake, mukha namang Pinoy kasi halos parang mga features natin.
Mukha
Southeast Asian tayo. Pero that's the thing tayo, we would know. O yung mga mahilig pumuntang Thailand would know. Pero ang karamihan ba ng mga nanonood
especially yung the masses, yung mga masa talaga na yung access lang phone, internet. Kaya hindi naman, kumbaga hindi sila super well educated with regard to technology. So kung ano makita nila.
Hindi sanay na i-doubt mo yung nakikita mo online. Yeah. Kasi tayo, talagang pag nakita mo sa mobile,
kagad, diba?
Dire-diretso. Yung iba, parang, tinan mo, may interview tuloy. So you see how it compounds. Tapos later, kung na-point out na nga, yung pagcambio is the dangerous part
Yeah.
Kasi, you believe whatever you wanna believe, insist what you wanna insist on, it's your politics, right?
Correct.
Pero, parang binaliktad mo yung sinabi mo na, dati, allegedly, dapat nakikinig tayo sa mga bata. Ngayon, AI pala siya. It doesn't matter, basta ito yung message. Yun yung delikado. Pag lumagpas yun, then wala na. Parang we're going to tolerate any synthetic media na. And it's dangerous kasi, medyo hindi masyadong umiksena ang deepfakes, pansin nyo nung election.
Yeah.
Hindi masyado. Actually, pinagsasabihan nga ako. I've been warning about this since 2018 pa. Parang sabi nila, Doc, wala naman pala Parang ganon. Ngayon biglang parang nadaplisan lang tayo after the election siya lumabas. So we have to be ready by 2028. It's probably going to be, rampant.
Yan na yan.
Yun na yun diba?
And what's really bothersome is yung fact na they don't care, alam nila na it's fake. They know that it's fake. Pero pinaninindigan nila yung message daw. Ngayon, there was this one na nag-comment actually sa page natin, sa 31 Million Movement. Nag-comment siya na they know that it's fake. And she was insisting na but the messaging is so talagang basically she just admitted na they're spreading it purposely because of the actual message but not because it was fake. So when the video is fake in itself, so how does it connect whether the message is real or not? Kasi yan, opinion lang yan ng whoever created
made
that.
The video.
Exactly.
Okay, yun na yung version 2. Di sana hindi nangyari yung version 1 na kesyo makinig tayo sa mga youth. Di ba yun Kasi since sinabi mo yun, parang pinalabas mo na totoo siya.
Yeah.
And then later kinambyo mo. Dapat diniretso mo na lang na buti na lang tong mga AI na to sinasabi ang ganyan. Then quits, di ba? So I feel yun that's really what I'm complaining about. Complained about na own up to that. Kasi if you don't, yun na, marami nang lulusot.
Okay lang sana, Doc at Martina, kung pag-post, sinabi na kaagad na, ito, AI ito yung naniniwala ako sa messaging. So, kahit na AI.
Yeah,
at least
I
merong
agree with
in
the
fact,
message.
there were a number of other deepfakes na I think parang kumontra naman. Pero yun, self-admitted. Kahit ako, AI ako, ito ang paniniwala ko. In a way, it was kind of satirical eh.
Yeah.
Nabuti pa yung AI may talino. Pero yun, the fair game na yun. No? Pero yung first offense talaga was to let it, to attempt to let it pass as truth.
Yeah.
And then later, i-cambio mo. That's parang, in a way na, ano mo na,
Nabuking
mo na
nabuking lang kasi.
yung purpose eh.
Nabuking
Sana
lang.
pinanindigan na lang niya. I think pinanindigan niya yung fact na nakapagkalat siya, ayaw niya na lang aminin na fake yung kinalat niya.
Yeah.
So, para mapagtakpan, parang just to cover it up or just to save himself, no? Na, yung messaging na lang, inano na lang niya yung message. But then again, that's just one person whoever created that. That's not an opinion of the masses, di ba?
Tapos, ang masama pa nito, tinanong yung BP, ang layo din ang sagot.
Di ba?
Yeah, I think that was more of parang parang justify mo na yung maling justification. Kasi, the statement was at least hindi pinagkakakitaan. I think that's another level of complexity na, sige, somebody's trying to scam you. And in fact, ginagamit nga tong mga methods na to scam. Pero balik tayo sa topic. The topic was the politics of it and the attempt to make it look real. No? So, actually, yung broader challenge ko dyan ngayon, and in fact, for those who were yung mga kumukontra sa akin, sabi nila, ba't di mo pinupuna yung admin? Actually, I did. Diba? There was a story about an agency who was using ChatGPT na nahuli ng ChatGPT. I put that out, no? So, hindi talaga siya political. Pero for me, the bigger issue is, lumabas na ang AI tsaka deepfakes in politics. Talagang explicitly.
Yeah.
Para na siyang arms race, no? Parang, so, nag-level up na siya. Dati, ballistic missiles. Ngayon, nuclear weapons na. Parang ganun. Dati, cheap fakes. Ngayon, deep fakes na. So, I think the concern is, dapat ready na tayo as the electorate or as citizens. Huwag na tayo madaling maniniwala sa kahit ano makita natin. Kasi, you can bet, kahit ngayon, napapansin na natin fake, in the near future, gaganda at gaganda pa yung technology. It will be indistinguishable from reality.
Kasi ngayon, tayong mga talamak sa social media and those who are very aware of AI videos.
Madali lang.
Alam mo
Medyo mapipick up mo agad, diba?
Kasi yung the way how it was taken, diba? Parang sobrang polished eh. You know, even the high HD na video, na real videos, this is not as polished as ang kinis nung mukha. Kasi I've been watching this content creator and I find it funny kasi he was doing like this AI videos of OFWs in Egypt creating the pyramid.
Oo, lupit nga.
I find it super funny.
Pero yun, satire yun.
Oo, satire
okay
talaga yun.
Yan,
sobrang, yun talaga na-appreciate ko yung AI doon kasi you thought of that, and I find it, I mean, if you're gonna use it for something like that, I would really appreciate. Pero yung ganito, and then, ikakalat pa ng one of the highest person in government, ipapakalat mo ng ganyan, and then, instead na umamin ka na lang na mali yung ginawa mo, pindig mo.
So for me, remove the political color.
Yeah.
And then judge it for what it was. An attempt to pass a fake video as true, and then later kinambyo. Again, we cannot naman dictate how you want your politics if you want to support one or the other. Pero yun na nga, I'm focusing on the issue of the fake media. Huwag nating sabihing totoo yan. No? Actually, I'll share the clue that I saw immediately, knowing it was fake. Yung audio, parang isang tao lang. Diba? Yung ini-interview. Pero yung video, parang papalit-palit ng scene. And I think that's going to be at least the easiest tell. Kasi normally, gine-generate mo yung video and audio separately.
Yeah.
Pero, on the other hand, yung isang medyo napaka-impressive is, kuwang-kuha na niya yung punto ng Pinoy. The accent was Pinoy.
Yeah, actually.
Dire-diretso siya. So, back in the day, mahuhuli mo na parang medyo fake yung accent.
Pagka-slang.
Oo. Ngayon hindi na. So can you imagine, it's only been a number of months since yung mga voice AI has
mas lalo na, no?
Ang bilis ng development.
Maganda pa yan, lalo. So ang kalaban mo na lang dito, yung brain mo. Yung talagang, you have to question what you see.
Yeah, discernment talaga, no?
And lalo na, actually, it affects extremes yung mga nakakatanda.
Yeah.
Siyempre, hindi sanay dyan. Dapat i-advise natin. At saka yung mga super bata naman, na wala nang alam kundi social media, sila rin mauuto. No? It's those of us who kind of lived in two worlds, yung mga before social and after, during social. Yeah. Medyo kita natin yung change. And then eventually, it'll all be mga Gen Alpha tsaka Gen Beta na wala nang alam kundi AI. Sila dapat yung iingatan natin na hindi madadala dyan.
I see.
Grabe, no? Yan.
Anong reaction mo dun sa Dun sa...
sa tingin ko kasi, yun ang naratibo kasi na gusto nilang i-spread, no? Na kahit Gen Z, mga kabataan, ay ayaw ng impeachment. At parang gusto nilang impluwensyahan yung isipan ng mamamayang Pilipino na ito nga, mga Gen Z, o mabuti pa sila, o alam nila yung nangyayari, ayaw. So, nandun talaga yung makikita mo political, yung pinaka-reason, purpose. Politika talaga, no, para ma-impluwensyahan yung mamamayang Pilipino. Kaya doon siya nagiging mali. Kasi andun yung motibo, mali ang motibo na ongoing ngayon yung impeachment, 'di ba? Na panawagan ng mga Pilipino na ituloy na yung impeachment na hanggang ngayon ay wala pa ring trial.
Oo.
Actually, that's a double-edged blade din kasi I think it made it worse na senator judge yung gumawa.
Correct.
Exactly.
Parang I mean, forget about the color, forget about the partisanship. If you're a judge, you should not be making statements like that.
Correct.
Exactly. Kasi nagiging obvious yung partiality mo dun sa So i-judge ka nga, 'di ba? Alam mo, if I may suggest to him, to Senator Bato, I would suggest, sir, punta ka na lang mismo sa kalye, ikaw mismo mag-interview ng mga kabataan, 'di ba? Para hindi ka naboboljak ng ganyan ng mga netizens. Kasi sobrang obvious Tapos paninindigan mo pa na mali ka, 'di ba? So maglakad-lakad ka sa kalye, marami naman tao, I'm sure, marami makakilala sa'yo, di magtanong ka ng opinion nila if that's the case. Kung yan talaga yung gusto mong mangyari.
Correct.
Di ba, no? So, anyway, sa mga ganito, Doc, no? Like, especially since medyo nagsisimula na siya maging talamak. Sa tingin nyo, ano pang magiging gamit nitong ganitong klaseng AI sa future ng Pilipinas? Not just in politics, but let's say in a general sense sa buong bansa. Not just the politics, but the government itself.
Well, I think, and this is something I'll be talking to some people about this coming week. We have to prepare na yung lahat ng content creation AI-driven na. No? Ngayon, video is there. Shortly before that, there was audio, there was images. And marami ring implications yan for those of us who are in the creative fields, diba? In fact, rinereklamo na ng mga artists yan na dati sila ang hinahire, ngayon hindi na. Now, I think naman, it's not 100% negative. Just like once upon a time, photography was seen as a threat to painting. And then ngayon, ginagamit na ang pictures as part of the painting process. No? Lalo na kung papagawa ka ng portrait. So, there will be this transition na if you're a creator, dati hindi ka gumagamit ng AI, gagamit ka na rin ng AI. That's one. Marketing, advertising, halos lahat magiging AI na yan. Kasi it's just simply too easy to do.
Mas mabilis.
So, kung gagawa ka mano-mano, you can obviously still do it. Pero you will always be behind the curve in terms of productivity. On the other hand, I think tataas ang value ng mga, let's say, artwork that is purely human-made. Kasi it's very rare na.
That's true.
Just like authentic paintings, mahal na ngayon.
Even now, even sa bags and even shoes, if it's handmade, ito talaga parang
craftsmen
basta even it's pag handmade talaga, it's really much pricey, no? Talagang which is maganda. Which is, I think it adds value, no? Tun sa mga talagang hard-earned labor.
Napapaisip tuloy ako, Martina, at saka Doc, no? Na umpisahan ko na yung mga painting ko.
If you're into painting, you should pursue it, no?
Yeah.
On the other hand, yung mga commercial artists ang medyo kailangan may mag-decide Kasi they're the ones who sell their artwork actively.
Yeah.
I mean, little things like, if you're a logo maker,
yung mga graphic artists.
You know, you can instantly generate logos. I mean, I'm not saying the AI-generated logos are better or worse, pero may kalabang ka na. Now, on the other hand, marami na rin akong nakikilala are making the shift. They used to be purely no AI. Ngayon, they're incorporating AI into their process. So, hindi naman siya 100% wala. So, anyway, art is one. Education is another. I think malaking bagay din ngayon na AI is invading the classroom. Obviously, issue yan sa mga teachers kasi mga students can write their essays using ChatGPT.
Correct.
Pero hindi mo naman mababan So, I feel ngayon, kailangan mag-adjust na rin yung mga eskwelahan natin, no? In the meantime, may issue tayo sa education, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yung mga scores natin are worse. Pero despite that, kailangan malaman natin paano ba may improve ng AI ang education kaysa sa linalabanan mo. Kasi babalik yan dun sa critical thinking natin. Kaya naman naging issue din itong nangyari sa deepfake na to. Kasi marami ring mga tao, wala ring comprehension pag nakikita nila. Like, I don't know kung nakita nyo, may isang, konsehal ba yun, na nagpagawa ng prayer sa ChatGPT. Binasa niya yung prayer, including dun sa yung comment ng ChatGPT na, feel free to modify this prayer as you see fit.
May your divine light shine upon us, guiding us in our endeavors and filling and filling our hearts with hope and inspiration. May we also pray, feel free to modify this prayer or tailor it to your specific needs and benefits. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
So sabi ko, yan yung nangyayari pag may AI ka pero wala kang comprehension. Kasi binasa mo pati yung comments, no?
Oh.
Naalala ko tuloy yung college pa ako, pinag-research kami. Yung classmate ko, nag-copy-paste sa Google. Nandun pa yung mga...
yung Google comments sinabi. Diba? Parang ganun.
Nahuli tuloy.
Gagamit ka na lang. Medyo, there's no excuse.
I-polish mo na.
Diba? Pero that's the reality. Laziness nga ang kalaban.
Yeah, laziness, yeah.
So, yun yung challenge.
Actually, pag ako, speaking of critical thinking, I hope maisip ng Sani Angara, hopefully, pakisama po sa curriculum ng estudyante from elementary hanggang college ang critical thinking sa curriculum. It's very important. I think, kasi iba yung I mean, it's good na meron tayong mga basic subjects like reading, science, maths, and yung reading kasama dyan ng comprehension. But let's add critical thinking instead of wasting the parents' money on certain minor subjects that
correct.
They're not gonna take in the future. Let's be real. Music, arts. Correct. Let's have that on a lower grade, pero wag na natin siya isama after grade 3.
For me, the pedagogy, that's the word, diba, has to change.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, sanay tayo memorization, repeating what you see in the book. Pero kung ang challenge is, questionin mo yung book. How often did you actually do that back in school? Even I don't remember. Diba?
Yep.
Kasi that means, A, alam mo yung nasa libro, and B, alam mo enough to challenge it. You might even make a mistake. Yun pa yung isang naalala ko sa school dati, bawal magkamali. Pero if you want to be critical, you have to be ready to be wrong. Diba? Correct. Challenging, debating. Yeah. So yung mga debate team, sanay doon. Pero ilan lang ba yung lulusot sa debate team once upon a time? Lalo na ngayon, everything's digital, napakadaling mag-copy and paste, PowerPoints, medyo mahirap nga yung critical thinking na yan.
So, ito dahil nga ganito, no, kumalat na to in public. Let's have this before our next break. What advice, or at least what can you tell our audiences and our listeners, no, Doc? Paano ba nila, kahit paano nila madedetect, lalo na doon sa mga seniors natin, at saka yung mga kabataan pa, paano nyo madedetect kung talagang totoo ba talaga tong video na to or hindi? Especially na kumalat tong ganito.
Well, yun na nga. Unfortunately, I'm always the first to say, detecting it is almost impossible, unless obviously may mali sa pagkagawa. So I would first point the listener or the viewer dun sa mensahe. Okay? And may mga usual suspects din. Anything political, pause. Tama ba itong nakikita ko?
Correct.
Anything na may reputation involved, attacking or even defending online, kasi these are things that are not normally aired. Diba? Somebody will attack you. Pause, no? Correct. And then dun sa may commercial side naman, marami kasing pinagagamitan ng mga fake video, mga mga scams.
Yeah,
true.
Hard sell ka, and usually yung scam, either money-making opportunity or health. May bago ng gamot sa blank. Siyempre, kung meron kang karamdaman na hindi to in-approve ng BFAD pero gumagana to, parang you desperately want to believe it kasi nga kailangan mo ng shortcut.
Correct.
Pause. Unfortunately nga, it's so emotionally difficult Kasi in a way, hinahanap ng brain mo yun eh. Diba? Lalo na kung politics. Pero kung dun pa lang, kaya nating i-disiplina ang sarili natin. Anything political, anything reputational, anything hard selling, hindi mo agad papatulan. Kahit papano, medyo mamiminimize mo yung damage. And then the rest, if you must, kilatisin mo yung video, here's an important tip. Try to screenshot and download it. Kasi normally, pag nare-report yan, tinitake down.
Yeah.
So, kung may reklamo ka at gusto mong ihabla yung isang tao, wala ka ng evidence.
Yeah.
So, it might take a bit more effort, pero screenshot it, or if you can, record it, or download it kung kaya nyong i-download. Kasi later, magagamit yan for evidence.
Correct.
No? Correct. And then, isa pang, actually, clamor ko to in the journalist sector Hindi kasi sanay ang mga tao sa mga deepfake kasi madali nga na-take down. Pwede ba tayong gumawa ng parang deepfake zoo? No? Parang everyone just dumps mga videos there na proven to be fake para pwede natin pag-aralan. Kasi sabi mo nga, if you see it often enough, you develop an instinct na mukhang peke to. Kasi marami na akong nakitang ganito. Unfortunately, wala pa tayong ganong parang facility right now. Parang deepfake gallery as I call it. Baka pwede natin pagtulungan yon, gawa tayo ng parang kahit lang mga upload lang into a Google Drive and then eventually pwede nating i-publish. I think that will go a long way lalo nang malayo pa yung next election. Paghandaan na natin as early as now.
Correct. Yeah, that's a great idea. And by the way, with regard to sa sinabi ni Doc, tandaan nyo, you can delete a post but screenshots are forever.
Forever. The internet remembers.
All right.
Tanong ko lang kay Doc, ano po ang inyong masasuggest sa ating gobyerno para at least kahit hindi siya talagang tuluyang mawala ay at least ma-minimize naman yung pagpapakalat ng deepfake videos na yung nakaka-harm sa mga tao. Okay lang naman yung deepfake pero kapag yung ginamit na sa kasamaan, yun po, paano po kaya ang inyong masasuggest para hindi naman napakaraming nabibiktima?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest gaps ngayon is wala talaga tayong batas pagdating sa AI or deepfakes even. Even if yung kunyari pinaggamitan ng deepfake, let's say someone impersonated you, technically, parang identity theft yun And that's a cybercrime, no?
Right.
Pero in the Cybercrime Act or Cybercrime Prevention Act, walang word na deepfake, walang word na AI. So it certainly demands an update, whether dun sa batas na yon or like another law or some statute. Yung Data Privacy Act, in theory, could cover your facial data na pwedeng ginamit for faking. Wala ring, and I think it was intentional 2012 pa kasi yung mga batas na yan, no?
Yeah, hindi na siya updated.
Matagal na. And I think that desperately needs to be updated because, kunyari, na-scam ka because of this, and you go to, PNP. You tell them, na-deepfake ako. Wala silang necessarily parang procedure to deal with that because it's not really classified as anything. No? Now, that on the other hand, kailangan din natin ingatan kasi kunyari naghigpit talaga on the use of AI and deepfakes, then you already impede on freedom of expression. And,
ang dami niyang sasagasaan.
So medyo, there's a fine act. Pero for me, it's a bigger risk ngayon na wala tayong way of complaining. Diba? Even if it's used. In fact, sa abroad, there was a famous case. No? You can Google this. Merong CEO na in-impersonate using a deepfake at naka-withdraw sila ng millions of dollars from a bank.
Oh my God.
For me, ang unang reaction ko doon, ba't medyo uto-uto yung bangko na to? Kasi, I think it was on the basis of a phone call, no? But, anyway, whatever. Long story short, it was actually used to perpetrate theft from a company. So, that means, yan talagang habol ng mga cyber criminals to use this technology. Now, I say cyber criminals, pero because technically, it is a cyber crime, no? But, how many cyber security professionals are actually trained in deepfakes?
Yeah.
Probably say zero. Or maybe they do it on the side. Kasi hindi yan kasama sa normal cyber training. So I think yan yung medyo gray area right now na kailangan talaga nating i-address to also permit responsible use. Hindi naman bawal lahat Pero dapat alam ng mga tao na ito medyo sketchy, pero you can use deepfakes for creative purposes, no? May mga kilala nga ako, gagawa na raw sila ng first AI-generated short film. O yan, okay yan.
That's nice, yeah.
No, kasi makamenos ka.
Follow up ko lang, no? Ito kaya yung dahilan kung bakit yung sinampa ng NBI doon sa gumawa ng deepfake video kay PBBM ay parang wala tayong naririnig.
Well, I'm not privy to what was filed.
Dahil ba sa wala tayong batas?
It's possible na kulang yung batas natin to prosecute, no? And I think there is actually an older law, I keep referring to it, Revised Penal Code 143 yata or something like that, which punishes anyone who creates news that can harm the state. So baka yun yung ginamit, no? You went after kasi and then of course there's the sedition law, no? Anti-sedition law. Pero malayo na yun. Dito, we're just talking about the impeachment or whatever. Hindi siya punishable under those laws. And then, of course, it doesn't cover personal attacks to you. There's, of course, libel and slander. Pero hindi necessarily connected to AI yun. No?
Correct. Yeah.
So, I don't want to give license to anyone who wants to use AI to attack. Kasi nga, kesa okrayin mo yung kapitbahay mo, gawa ka na lang ng AI to do it. Don't do that. Pero yun na nga, makakalusot yun kung gagawin mo.
So, yung mga tagagawa po ng batas natin, pwede pakigalaw po yung baso. Huwag po tayong puro post lang. Kasi may isa post lang ng post. Magtrabaho po kayo, hindi po tayo globetrotters at nagta-travel lang, ha? Pagalawin ng baso, marami tayong batas na kailangan i-update. But anyway, so simula nung huli tayo nagkita, no, Doc, nung huli ka nag-guest dito, ang tanong ko, anong pinagkakaabalahan mo lately? With regard to your advocacies and, may new projects ka ba regarding cybersecurity, AI?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about it? Kung anong mga pinagkakaabalahan mo lately?
Well, probably the big three. Number one is education. Mm-hmm. So I'm working with a number of institutions to promote AI literacy. No, actually, if you're part of an education institution or you want to collaborate, I'm more than happy, You just hit me up on docligot.com. That's my website. We do mga courses on prompting. We do courses on AI literacy. And I'm about to partner with a number of people on the creative uses of AI naman. Kasi actually, masaya siyang gamitin. Na huwag ka lang gagawa ng kasamaan. Pero yeah, you can create mga movies, you can create clips, images. It's really fun to do. And even ikaw, kasi dati kailangan mo ng production house, ng studio. Ngayon, wala. Laptop is enough.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Yun yung opportunity sa AI. So that's one big chunk. On a, kumbaga, smaller percentage of my time, yan, yung issue ng mga batas, I'm actively lobbying for AI policies.
Yes.
And ang mga help na kailangan natin dyan, well, obviously, if you're in the Congress and the Senate, I wouldn't mind, having time to talk to you. Pero even mga NGOs or mga advocates, and this covers everything from education to labor, sa mga artists, yung protection of intellectual property. Isa pang batas yan na medyo begging for an update yung intellectual property code. Kasi technically, hindi naman covered ng IP code ang AI, no? And there are technicalities to it. Labor code din. I mean, paghandaan na natin na yung nagbabantang mga job losses, although technically wala pa naman akong nakikita so far na talamak na nawawalan ng trabaho. Pero on little parang fronts, kunyari, yung mga copywriters, mga artists, nararamdaman na nila. And what kind of protections can you get, no? So education, policy, and I'm also looking for collaborators to reach lalo na yung mga provinces. Kasi ang mga usapang AI parang palagi na lang nasa NCR lang. I certainly we need to bring this conversation
mga
everywhere.
Mga big cities,
Yeah. In fact, I was just in Cebu and in Calabarzon recently. And then last year, marami akong pinuntahan din. A couple of years back, I used to do work in Mindanao, in Cotabato, in Davao. Pero yun na nga medyo talagang kailangan ng konting effort and networking to do that.
So, very, very busy ka pala. Busy. Pero ano ka ba rin? Do you accept invitation, for example, let's say schools, to talk about, like for example, this particular school has a program for students with regard to, AI and computer literacy and all. Do you take invitations na mag-guest ka kunyari to speak for the class or for the rest of the school?
Actually, just the other day, Friday, I was in Mapua sa Intramuros. And I gave a talk about, yun na nga, parang ang message ko doon, yung curriculum ng university, and Mapua is one of the most advanced na sa pagdating sa technology. Medyo nahuhuli pa rin pagdating sa AI. Kaya kasi kunyari, gusto mo mag-aral ng AI, hindi ka pupunta sa school. Manonood ka ng YouTube. That's where you learn it. And that's fine kasi wala namang cost ng YouTube. Pero 'di ba sayang?
Yeah.
No? Sana tinuturo na siya. And unfortunately, yung mga marunong yan, hindi yan yung mga professors.
Correct.
These are people in the industry.
No, kasi I wanna suggest it to my daughter's school Kasi yung school ng daughter ko, they're like super advanced. Like especially with yung anak ko is like on junior high, first year in junior high. And she will have biology, physics, and chemistry.
Wow. Science. STEM.
Yeah.
STEM track.
And this is, per quarter lang. So imagine yung advanced yung school niya. And they even have creative writing and research at grade 5 and grade 6. So, I'm wondering if they have that kind of and maybe I can, talk to Doc Ligot and maybe he can be a guest sa school ng anak ko.
The answer is yes, we can do that. Tsaka isa pang messaging ko na I should do more. Siyempre, emphasis natin is more science and technology. Pero wag natin kakalimutan yung humanities, yung arts, 'di ba? Creative fields. Kasi talagang napag-iiwanan din yung mga mga fields na yun. Kasi nga ang goal ng mga magulang paaralin ko yung anak ko para magkatrabaho agad or para makapag-abroad.
Correct. Yeah, those were my 90s parents. Diba? Ganun sila. Yeah. 90s
kailangan
parents.
May lisensya ka, no? Or kailangan mag-nurse ka, mag-doktor ka, guaranteed may trabaho. I mean, to a certain extent, that's still true. Pero yun na nga, marami ng competition. Hindi lang naman ang Pilipino ang na-employ abroad, no? So, and then there's AI. We need to figure out paano ba natin gagamitin yan para magkaroon ng livelihood. I think that's a big opportunity.
I think because kasi before, back in the 90s, so kasi even my parents have that kind of mentality na you want to be an artist, magtrabaho ka muna, get a course na madali ka makakuha ng trabaho, and then afterwards you can study again. I think it's more on practicality kasi more parents are more practical back then, no? Rather than now na ngayon the millennial parents like myself, they allow to encourage their kids not to take up art. Kasi my daughter is a very good artist. She draws very well. And so, yeah. So I hope na this, we can educate people more about AI and how to use it properly, responsibly.
Actually, right. for anyone who wants to get started, madali, hit me up on docligo.com. I'm also on Facebook.
I follow you.
Meron, kung wala kayo sa Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. Kung nasa X pa kayo, kasi alam ko marami nang umalis, nandun din ako. I mean, I try to spread yung content ko as far as possible. And then I have a YouTube channel. Look for me on Doc Ligot. Yun, marami akong mga videos doon for free. But yun na nga, the idea there is to get literacy up, and then pag kailangan nyo na ng mga hardcore skills, tara, let's have a training.
That's great. So, handa ka na ba sa ating quick recap lang?
Yes, ready na.
Okay. So, tahimik tayo, no? Pero medyo solid yung mga hakbang ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. So, unahin natin nung June 16. By the way, that was my dad's birthday, June 16. Happy birthday, Dad. And nung June 16, he personally led the official opening of the school year ng 2025 to 2026 sa isang public elementary school sa Malate, Manila. Okay. And over 27 million students ang bumalik sa klase that day, and the President made sure na makita mismo ng mga magulang at estudyante na suportado sila ng national government.
Yes, Martina, konting komento lang dyan. Nakita ng ating Pangulo yung mga problema sa silid-aralan.
Correct.
Personally, in-inspection ng Pangulo natin at nakita niya yung may mga palikuran na walang tubig at saka marumi. At saka nakita din ng Pangulo natin, siya mismo nagsabi, yung napabayaan talaga kaya nagkaroon ng napakalaking backlog or kakulangan sa silid-aralan. So dito, maganda ito, Martina, kasi yung Pangulo natin talagang bumaba siya sa mga eskwelahan para talagang makita niya kung ano ang problema. At sabi nga niya, mahirap itong hindi ito masusolusyonan ng ganun-ganun lang overnight.
Correct,
kasi nga napabayaan ilang dekada na. At ang sabi ng Pangulo merong mga classroom na panahon pa ni President Marcos Sr.
Oo, panahon pa ng kopong-kopo, yung sabi nila.
Ginagamit pa at hindi pa siya na re-renovate, hindi pa siya naayos. Talagang kung ano yung itsura ng classroom, yun pa rin.
Alright, correct. So, I'm very, and I also wanted to commend Secretary Sani Angara, no? As a DepEd Secretary, he should have been the DepEd Secretary since time immemorial. Kasi he's very hands-on with you. And you'll see na talagang pupunta siya sa mga liblib na lugar. So, I really wanted to commend him on that. And also, no, kasama sa action na, by the way na, meron silang nilaunch na kampanya kontra bullying and cyberbullying. So, as obviously, napapanahon na talaga because this is an ongoing problem, I believe, in school, right?
Tama ka, Martina, no? So, lalo na ngayon, Martina, ang bullying kasi ay hindi na lang nangyayari sa physical di ba? Maging sa online talaga. So, kailangan talaga natin.
Emotions and mental talaga target eh. So, isa pa sa kasama sa action na yan ay inatasan niya ang DICT na palawakin ng internet access sa public schools. So, right now, we have 60% na lang ng mga ang mga paaralan na may internet. Imagine that, public schools.
Yes, no? Sa pagkakarinig ko, lahat ng public schools ay talagang gagawin ito, Martina. Itong programa ng gobyerno na free wifi.
Correct.
Kaya maganda yan kasi nga digital age na tayo ngayon at talagang kailangan ng mga mag-aaral natin ng wifi sa kanilang pag-aaral.
Correct. And yung messaging niya is internet is not a luxury, no? It's a necessity. Especially nowadays na everything can be found on the internet. Lalo na sa mga estudyante, they need research and there's the internet. Nung araw, library. Diba? Or yung, Britannica Encyclopedia, right? So, yeah.
Martina, hindi naman lahat nakaka-afford ng encyclopedia. Ako naalala ko, dadayo pa ako sa National Library, Gothic Library, German Library. Halos lahat yatang ng library ay pinupuntahan namin pag kami ay nagre-research. Pero ngayon, one click away lang yan, no? Sa mga website.
Correct.
Through internet.
Correct. Tapos nung June 17 to 19, nagkaroon din ng medyo konting galaw sa cabinet ni Pangulo. Ni-reappoint niya interim sina J. Ruiz, Secretary J. Ruiz bilang head ng Presidential Communications Office for the meantime. Again, at Henry Aguda ng DICT. So, kahit nagbigay ng courtesy resignation earlier this year, pinabalik pa rin sila. That means meron pa rin sort of tiwala ang Pangulo kahit paano. So, especially with Secretary Aguda, no, tamang-tama sa digital push ng gobyerno for education. So, alam mo may continuity sa plano, right?
Correct.
So, ano pa bang merong ganap nitong nangyari? So, bukod sa mga schools, sa yung pala natin, yung 50% off mga estudyante sa LRT, MRT, take advantage of that, especially now pasukan na, lalo na yung mga bumabiyahe pa.
Correct.
I remember back in the days when I was still in college, nagbabiyahe ako ng bus from Rizal going to Manila. Tapos imagine mo, wala pang LRT noon. Kung kailang wala na ako sa kolehiyo, sakalo mo ba si LRT? Pababa ng San Beda.
Meron man, Martina, pero doon sa part na yon wala pa, no? Hindi pa nagagawa.
Correct.
So, unlike ngayon na talagang ang dami na linya ng train.
Sobra. And tsaka yung ang efficient nung, alam mo yung ang efficient kumilos ng secretary natin sa DOTR, no? And yung pila, yung pila, 'di ba? Ngayon halos wala na, tapos the elevators. Ang daming elevators. So imagine mo, especially do sa mga PWDs natin, mga senior and yung mga pregnant women natin, mothers na alam mo yon, hindi na
sila mahirapan.
Umakyat ng hagdan, di ba?
Yan naman kasi, Martina, ay talagang direktiba ng ating Pangulo, di ba? Kung narinig nyo yung interview with Cheryl Cosim, di ba? Na talagang ang Pangulo natin, ayaw niya ng business as usual, no?
Correct.
Gusto niya yung talagang i-push mo yung sarili mo para gumawa ka. Kung wala kang itutulong, kung wala kang matutulong sa kanyang administrasyon, ay exit ka na, di ba? exit ka na. Ganon po yung ginagawa ng ating Pangulo ngayon. Kaya marami talaga na natatanggal sa kanilang pwesto at napapalitan.
Correct. And it's not, hindi siya flashy.
Correct.
Right? Naramdaman mo siya pero hindi siya in your face na like sobrang flashy na, oy, ginawa ko to, ginawa ko yan. No, it's not like that. But he's doing something. You'll see it dun sa LRT. Makikita mo yung pagiging hands-on niya sa mga schools. And nakikita mo yung mga tao niya, especially these important sectors ng gobyerno natin like the transportation, education, nakikita mo na kumikilos talaga.
Oo. Isa pa, Martina, katulad na lang ng ginawa niya, sa yung pagbisita niya sa National Kidney Transplant Institute, di ba? Talagang, Martina, yung bata nga, sumulat, di ba?
Oh yeah, I read that.
Talagang tuwang-tuwa. Marami mga netizen ang talagang natuwa. Kasi nga, kita mo yung mga dialysis, talagang free na talaga. Napakamahal ng dialysis. Ngayon lang ito nangyari sa panahon ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Although sinasabi nung iba na nagpe-fake news sila na nasan daw napunta yung pondo ng PhilHealth, hindi nila naiintindihan ang totoong nangyayari, Martina. Sa totoo lang, ako palagi kong ina-explain yan sa aking mga live. Pero may mga tao pa rin talaga na ini-insist nila kung ano yung gusto nilang paniwalaan. Kasi ang pinapakinggan nila ay yung kanilang mga, alam mo na, yung mga vloggers nila na nahilig sa fake news.
Yung mga kasamahan din nila na ito lang yung naintindihan, nakala nila tama yun. And you know how people are, minsan alam mo yung in combination ng very bad combination, yung arrogance and ignorance. Na yung whatever they say, it's so ignorant. And yet how they say it is very confident sila and very arrogant sila. So it seems like what they're saying is true. Paniniwalaan mo talaga, right?
At saka isa pa, Martina, they don't care. Wala silang pakialam kung tama yung sinasabi nila. Yeah. Basta yun ang gusto nilang naratibo. At wala silang pakialam. Kahit na tinatama mo, ikaw patuloy yung sinasabi ng fake news. Diba? Ay, naku, marami kong ganyan mga basher.
Ang dami nating, sa totoo lang, ang daming problema sa Pilipinas and some of it are getting fixed now. But it really needs a lot of focus on because this is information. And it's our special topic for tonight, right? Alam mo naman when we started this, yung mga una nating episodes is inano natin na yung we were very diligent about educating our listeners and our viewers na about fake news and the distinction. And
correct.
Right now, alam nyo naman na lalong mas malala kasi we now have AI videos.
Correct.
And a lot of people are believing this and a lot of them knows that this is not true and yet they are deliberately and purposely spreading it.
Sa bawat pagsikat ng araw, ikaw ay nandyan. Tinig mong matatag, sa amin ay gabay. Pag-asa ng bayan, pangakong totoo. BBM, isa kang totoong tao. Sa mahirap at api, ika'y sumusuporta. Tapat mong paglilingkod, lahat kami nakakita sa iyong pamumuno. Bayan ay umaangat, bagong Pilipinas, pangarap ay tapat. Ikaw ang aming BBM, Pangulong matapat. Sa puso ng masa, inaangat ating watawan. Sa hirap at ginhawa, ika'y kasama. Pilipinas ay papangon, dahil ikaw ang pag-asa. Mula Luzon, Visayas, hanggang Mindanao, boses mo'y umaabot, dala ay pag-ahon. Magtulungan, magkaisa, sabi mo sa lahat, para sa bayan, ikaw ang aming alamat. Ang pangarap mong bansa, taas noo masagana, manggagawa't magsasaka, binigyang halaga. Serbisyong totoo, hindi pagpapanggap, ang puso ng bayan, ikaw ang hinahanap. Ikaw ang aming BBM, Pangulong matapat, sa puso ng masa, inaangat ating watawat. Sa hirap at ginhawa, ika'y kasama, Pilipinas ay babangon, dahil ikaw ang pag-asa. Ikaw ang aming BBM, Pangulong matapat, sa puso ng masa, inaangat ating watawat.